Put up. Let's go live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the House of Holocrons Halloween episode. Doo-doo-doo-doo. As of course, we wanted to celebrate one of my all-time favorite holidays. We decided to dress up because it's better to dress up before than after. I, of course, am our local Sith Lord. Pleasure to meet you. My counterpart, Mike, representing Jedi Scum. And soon, you shall see a very familiar face from my TikTok channel. And I am very excited for that. But in the meantime, let me take this mask off. Mike, if you would, while I am listening, have you ever dressed as a Star Wars character before for Halloween? If so, who?
I don't think I actually have for Halloween. I've dressed up as Star Wars characters for like
Yeah, yeah.
costume events, like I used to be part of Mandalorian Mercs. I used to do dress up as a Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I had some Old Republic Mandalorian armor, not Mandalorian, sorry, Old Republic Jedi armor.
Oh, that
Um,
sounds nice.
I don't remember ever doing a Star Wars character for Halloween. I probably did as a kid. I just probably can't. I don't remember much Halloweens as a kid.
I did
Did any?
a discount Darth Vader, of course, where you just get like a t-shirt
Yeah.
that has the Darth Vader on it, a cape, the one-sided mask that only covers the front of your face, so
I know. I'm sure I've dressed up as a Jedi as a kid before because I remember at one point I put my dad's bathrobe. He had like a tan
yeah.
bathrobe, and I put that on.
I've
Okay.
definitely dressed up as a Sith multiple years in a row because it's cheap and easy.
Well, I didn't get to really do too much like stuff early on.
Yeah.
Most of my Halloween was more like we'd go to the church and it was always
Mm.
like Bible themed, so it wasn't Star Wars.
Right. Yeah, I had the full experience. I had a few friends that would go as like one year I had a friend who went as Chewie and Han, and that was fun. Of
They were
course, once you get into high school, the one or two really attractive nerd girls would always bust out the slave Leia, and then all of us theater kids would just swoon.
Yeah, I think they were pretty anti trick or treats. I never really got the trick or treat growing up and
Oh
doing that.
yeah.
I didn't do too much in high school. I was I was rebellious in a not Star Wars way.
It makes sense. I would definitely say that Halloween was a lot of fun also because there would always be like the lightsabers would go on sale. So you could get
Yeah.
like a few more new ones because I always broke them as a kid, those flimsy extendable ones.
I never got one.
Oh man, they sucked. They were great, but they
They never
sucked.
trusted me. I always wanted one. My memory of really begging for one was when you get the circus. They would always they had them in they're like rainbow ones
Yeah.
that would like fold up. Never got one. But when I got older and had my own money, the first thing I bought was a $500 lights custom built lightsaber.
Yeah.
Like, take that, Dad. Just on
There
me
we
now.
go. Now I'll have whatever lightsaber I want. Mwahaha.
It was actually that one back there. Yeah, a
Okay.
big Sith one.
Yeah, the Sith Sabers always looked a little cooler to me just because of all the extra stuff you get, like claws and things like that. Uh, I have been really excited to get back. I know last week we were not, there was no episode. We had a family issue that we had to deal with, and happy that we could be here though to now share a little bit of time with you all. We have a lot to go over. Mostly it's just two episodes of Andor and Tales of the Jedi, which doesn't sound
Just
like a lot when you put it that way. But boy howdy, a lot happened. Not only did a lot happen in Tales of the Jedi, which we could do a whole
oh,
episode just about that, but Andor has really gone off of like the rails in a good way. Like it's taken off and it's not coming back and it's gone to a crazy place. I did not expect this to go where it did. Of course, the episode before last week's was the after the heist, so things have kind of settled down a little bit. We have Andor going back and talking to some of his old friends and counterparts. The bigger thing, though, is the fact that, to me, the big point was it ends on him getting arrested,
yeah.
which was
We had
crazy.
a lot of things, a lot of subtle things.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if you want to touch on it yet without her, because she looks like she's almost done. But,
Yeah,
Almost done.
almost there.
but yeah, we set the first thing off. You know, they're talking about the whole announcement, which was the announcement of the attack. We get to see our first view of the HoloNet news, which is like a news anchor in retro style, which is pretty
Very
interesting.
retro style. I was like, I feel like that was one of those things where they didn't really need to make it that super retro looking, just because like I know they want everything to look like the tech from the 70s because that's when it was of course originated, and like all the stuff was thought up. But we could kind of move past that and like use holograms, or because we've seen the HoloNets in like Rebels and stuff like that.
I mean, it might be just because it's TV, because he's not. He's kind of they're because they're in. I think they said Midtown is the area he lives in. It's like the kind of basically.
There we
middle.
go. Takes a lot
Middle
longer to do
income.
all
Yeah.
that.
I think I've got about an hour and a half in this on the makeup now.
Yeah, you're getting there. We have to maybe do some TikToks afterwards to make it more worth
Of course. I'm not doing all this just for this.
it.
I'm gonna do all the TikToks and everything else and get everything else filmed because I
Yes.
ain't doing this for like a month.
Yep. So then, did you ever dress up as anything Star Wars for Halloween?
Oddly, no.
No. Okay.
It was a lot of like random things that I would make. Like I would make like a little skirt and be like a dark fairy,
Mm-hmm.
but I really didn't do anything Star Wars.
Oh, okay.
Weirdly.
So then, I know there was a lot more that happened in last week's episode of Andor besides him getting arrested, and we have the announcement.
Yeah, so there's that. We had the big drop is we got to see Colonel Wolf Yularen.
Yes.
He's a major character in the Clone Wars. He's a major officer during that, and then we also see him later on in the New Hope. He's a kind of a background character. Honestly, he's the first introduction of kind of the first intelligence for, because he wears the white jacket, and so they kind of based the whole intelligence almost off of him, really.
Right. That was before even Thrawn and stuff.
And he's in Rebels working with Thrawn, so I mean, we're getting closer and closer to Thrawn.
Yeah,
so.
we are.
Dude, I keep waiting for him to just show up on screen and we'll be like, wait, what?
But yeah, he notably dies without much. I don't think he has a speaking part in New Hope, and he just blows up with the Death Star. So
Yeah.
Hey, at least he's getting his time to shine now.
He's getting something.
Oh, one thing after rewatching parts of it, I noticed was really odd. I didn't catch up on. Cyril's the first person we've ever seen that actually steps out of the way, because he works in that new corporate job that his mother gave him, and they kind of work alongside the Empire. They do paperwork and stuff, and they have a mouse droid going through. He's the first character to ever step out of the way of a mouse droid.
I noticed that, but I didn't like think about it at this time. I was like,
nice.
he's
What
not.
I didn't consider it, and I wonder if it's just because his mental state. Because during that part, he's always looking down. Most people don't look down and notice him. They have to like swerve out of the way, and he actually swerves out of the way of the mouse droid, which is,
right.
I guess maybe symbolic to how low he's actually gone. He's below a mouse droid.
I don't know. I feel like it could be a reverse thing of just him. He's very aware of everything going around him.
Well, yeah, but yeah,
and so like he may care a little bit more about maybe running into it or it bumping him. I don't know.
It's not usual for, especially people with the Empire, to
never
see droids that way. They typically don't look at droids like they're.
I also look at it as normally they swerve around people. This didn't swerve around him. Maybe it thinks he's too low.
Yeah, this one was like, screw this guy.
There's the reverse side of it.
Right.
Also, another thing I didn't notice till after rewatched it, and I actually had to kind of get pointed out to me online, was in Andor. This is the first glimpse of actual stormtrooper armor. Before that, we've only seen the clone trooper armor, and then the kind of low armored stormtroopers and the heist.
Yeah.
So we haven't actually seen actual stormtroopers till just now.
Okay. I know you were pointing out the clone troopers in the flashback.
Yes, and those were actual clone troopers.
Yeah, that was directly after the switchover, pretty much.
Yeah, which is where they gunned down. We found what happened to Clem.
Yeah, the origins of the name.
Yeah, not Clem as in Cassian, but Clem as in we got the
right.
Just kind of the, I guess, the lover to his adopted mother.
I
Um,
Yeah,
believe so.
I
Yeah.
guess it would have been like his
either
father
if
figure.
either a partner if they weren't lovers, they were partners at least.
Very
But yeah,
close.
and we get to see kind of the early stages of the rebellion, how ruthless it is.
Yeah.
We see um, that they don't care. They actually want the Empire to bring down, be ruthless on the people, so the people will rise up.
Which
So
was
they don't really
smart.
care what happens to the people, though,
Hmm.
which kind of upsets Mon Mothma.
Yeah.
And then we see also they want to get rid of the loose end of Cassian. So they're trying to
Which
find
they
him,
had to find him. That's the whole fun part of it. Is they had to find him in the first place. Little did
which
they know.
I find it funny. It's just kind of jumping the mark in episode 8. They get the face of Cassian, who they're looking for, but they can't find him because they already have him. And they just don't know.
Yeah. Right.
But they can't do like facial recognition and be like, oh wait, he's already in our system, but he
Hmm.
says this guy.
I don't think they even scanned his face though. They just kind of
That's
just
the thing. That's
yeah,
they
where the
brushed him
flaws
through.
come in with it.
Well, then it's because they're trying to incarcerate as many people as they can to get a workforce.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this season. So what I understood of looking is that the first 3 episodes were a writer. Next 3 episodes was a head by a writer, and then episode 7 was its own writer, and
Mm.
then it's supposed to be 8, 9. It's a different writer, but it's almost starting to feel like almost like an 80s ish like cop movie or like a prison movie, kind of a
Yeah.
mix between the both. Almost a mix of some little dystopian stuff.
Yeah.
Very thematic. Oh yeah, I have in my notes. I thought was funny that he trying to get his mother. I didn't write her name down.
No, she's
To
just
stay,
annoying.
and they can't. She doesn't want to stay because she's inspired by his own actions
Yeah.
of the raiding the
Which
money
that's why I
that
thought it
she
was weird
wants
he
to
didn't
stay.
tell her, because he could have just told her, "Hey, that was me." So if you're trying to like be a part of the rebellion, then let's go.
I think telling her would have messed her up somehow.
Yeah.
It would have broken something.
She
or
was-
really
she was
made
in
her
that- yeah.
change her idea.
Yeah, she's starting to go off the deep end.
Yeah, she's gone.
Which
She's
is
Gandhi.
which is what we don't really see before on Star Wars. Typically, when we see older people, we see Jedi and they're
Yeah.
just extra wise, like Yoda. We don't actually see mental health deteriorating, which is very real. Very
Yeah.
we're getting into more adult, typically kid oriented content doesn't kind of cover that, which
Right.
is very very real and very authentic. Um, mental health exists in Star Wars, so.
Yeah, which is it's crazy to see that, and of course, like you said, we don't know if it's lovers or just really close partners, but she spoke about how she couldn't even go through that part of the town because she couldn't see him hanging there, like just,
She was,
and he wasn't even
yeah,
there
she
anymore.
was-
Just the idea of where he was hanging brought back too much memory.
Well, she said she was excited she could finally walk through town for
Yeah.
the first time.
Exactly, because of the rebellion.
And then we get to see Cassian hiding out in like a vacation planet. Um,
Going to pick up
Where
some
he-
green glibblies and whatever the hell.
Do
I
you know
tried
how much
looking- I
money
couldn't
he's-
find any-
he just left.
Oh, dude, there's so
I-
much money chilling
Yeah,
above that shower.
that cleaning worker, man, they're
Yeah.
blessed.
If they even find it. Whenever you clean anything, do you really go and look up in like the top when you're doing like a quick clean on
Oh,
something?
on a place like that, I bet they don't. I bet they won't.
They-
It could still be there.
Turned over. He'll probably come
The-
back in like 3 episodes and be like, "Hey, it's still here."
Which
That
yeah,
one worker that is really diligent for the first time.
yeah.
Right.
Or they hire someone new, so they're trying to show off. You got to be.
But-
You do the job pretty good at the first few
We get to
weeks.
see the shore troopers all
Mhm.
over the planet, which she bumps into them.
Which,
and,
You
yeah.
pointed out.
Not only do we get to see a shore trooper, we get to see. Well, he's not
Here.
in the suit. We get to hear Sam Witwer
Yeah.
voice the shore trooper who
Yep,
is
it was
accosting
confirmed.
Cassian.
Yeah,
Thank you,
there's a
Sam.
rumor he was going to be in it, so some people thought he was going to be Star Killer. But
Which
no.
I love that he was like, and he wasn't going to say no. He's like, oh, I'll be in it. Don't worry.
It was
you
so
know-
perfect.
we got the armor, we got his voice. I guess that's as close as we're probably gonna get.
We got a helmet and a voice, yeah, but he did really good at masking it, because at first I was like, that's not him. I re-listened to him, like, okay, I can kind of hear it, but he's really good with voice acting, so it makes sense.
I didn't catch up on it until I saw the announcement that he came
Yeah.
out and said that was him. We got to see the KX droids.
Oh man, and that was a crazy. At first, I thought, is this how they're gonna meet K2SO? Because like something was gonna happen, and then no, he just got straight up manhandled and almost choked to death.
Maybe we'll see him in the prison. I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's what I was thinking. He's
I would
gonna
say
gonna show up somewhere.
we do get to meet, which I found out just recently because I was deep diving some of the names and references,
Mm-hmm.
and we do actually get to meet one of the crew members from Rogue One, in Episode 8.
Really?
Figured I'd cover that when we get to 8. We get a couple more things, and I'll tell you what it is because it's not obvious unless you
Okay.
just recognize faces real well.
Yeah.
We can see Imperial Courtroom. I thought was really interesting.
Oh yeah, and the
really
fines. Oh my
part.
god, the fines were nuts.
There's a couple Easter eggs, which we get to see some new products in the shop.
Mm-hmm.
We get to see the Temple Guard mask was the main new thing.
Yeah.
The Jedi Temple Guard mask. It's hard to miss. A hard Easter egg is get the name of over the intercom in Coruscant. There's in the trains area, they announced LUH 341. That's actually a reference to George Lucas's first movie. It's like THX. It's just like dystopian sci-fi where it's in a prison where everything's white. Really close to similar to Episode 8. Really similar theme to Episode 8. This whole movie's like that.
Yeah.
Very first George Lucas movie, so that's kind of a reference to that.
Awesome.
And we hear about Ord Mantell, which a famous planet mentioned first time in Empire Strikes Back, as where Han Solo was kind of dealing with in between New Hope and Empire Strikes Back.
A very important planet, especially in EU. There's a lot that happens through the EU for fighting over Ord Mantell.
Home of the Black Suns. That's also a big notice of that. And then we're gonna run to 8 so we can then jump to the fun talks of.
Oh man, tells the Jedi's gonna be nuts. So
in Episode 8, we see the prison. We see a fun actor in Episode 8, which is Andy Serkis.
Yep.
He's the prisoner.
You had a fun time getting over that.
Totally. I was like,
if you don't know Andy Serkis is,
my room.
He's in so many good movies.
Yeah.
But famous for, of course, Gollum from Lord of the Rings.
Shmeagol.
He's also Supreme Leader Snoke, so he returns into Star Wars, the second character.
Yeah. But this time it's just him.
I love it though. It was just him. It wasn't a fake costume, or costume CG, nothing like that. It was just Andy Serkis.
Yeah, he's a fantastic actor. So it's great to see him. So yeah,
and he did amazing in this role.
He's going to do amazing, like even more. I think it's going to be interesting to see because he wants to have everything perfect because he wants to get out, and he wants everything to be top of the line. He gets the bonuses, he gets everything, and they're going to challenge that. And I think it's going to be really hard for him as a person to be like either go with the flow and escape, or because I'm assuming that's what's going to happen. Or he's going to try to stop it because he wants to have his.
If you want a help to your theory, the guy who talks to Cassian about not listening to what he's saying because this is all an illusion. Basically, they're just there for basically free labor. He tells them no matter these incentives, you're not going to get out, or it's not anything special. That guy that tells him that, and of course, Andy Serkis immediately shuts him off. It's right before they go to bed. That guy's name is Melshi, and he is one of the crew from Rogue One that actually goes throughout the entire movie and ends up dying on the I forget what that planet's called.
Scarif?
At the end, Scarif. He blows up a Scarif. So he's actually the first crew that Cassian meets for Rogue One. He's part of the table. He's the guy that helps him strap things on. He's one of his partners on the table. So he's the first Rogue One crew we meet. He doesn't say too much in the movie, but he's there. You see him.
So this might then just be where they kind of meet up and how they get to know each other.
So like I said, this is the first one we get to meet from that crew, which is pretty interesting.
Then I can see them trying to escape somehow.
There's gotta be, because they're looking for Cassian. So they're going to find out he's in the prison, and then there's going to be some kind of prison break.
They're not going to find out. I'll guarantee it's going to be that little wormy.
Crew together.
It's gonna be Cyril, whatever the hell his name is. The Empire lover.
Oh, Oh, okay.
The Cyril, yeah.
Cyril.
Yeah.
He's probably gonna be the one who finds out where Andor is. Somehow he's gonna be the one, because he's not gonna stop. Which was also kind of fun to see how she was like, "Thanks for your help," but being the Empire, they
shoots him down every time.
But still, they were like, "I don't care how good you think you are. We are the Empire. Shut up and go away."
The Empire is not known for rewarding too much.
No,
it's more backstabbing.
Yep.
I mean, clearly she's the one who's backstabbing one of her other fellow agents or whatever.
But at the same time, gonna backstab her.
Oh yeah, dude, it's gonna blow up in her face.
Although he tried already, and it already backfired on him.
I feel like the fighting that's happening in the Empire side is gonna be what helps Cassian escape to a degree. Yeah, well, but I do know that I like that girl though. That the female intelligence officer, she's awesome. I root for her as much as I root for any Imperial, and she's the worst case scenario for the rebels because she's right.
Yeah.
Well, I was reading some theories on her. Some people are thinking that we might see her actually turn to the rebels. Because there's some references that could be that way. For instance, in her office, she's got a tree. Which is, she's got a sign of life. It's very unusual for an Imperial officer to have something like that. Thrawn's an exception because he's weird.
Yeah.
He collects things anyways. But she actually has a tree she takes care of. And she goes, if I was a rebel, this is what I would do. She almost thinks like a rebel in a lot of stuff she does. And you could tell she's in deep thought. So, there might be some merit to that we could see her switch. I don't know. You can tell she's not a one-dimensional character for sure. So
I would argue that her saying, "If I were a rebel, I would do this," is just her being a very good agent, because that's how a lot of really good agents are. Is they think like the enemy.
Yeah, but so is Callus.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could.
So it has been done, and in that same timeline, era.
She could be the original Fulcrum.
Yeah.
This is true.
We don't know if it was Ahsoka or not.
Well, we don't know if Fulcrum, I think, because it was kind of referenced to Callus as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it could just be kind of a title that's passed on.
Right.
Yeah. So.
But it was really good to see. I liked the kind of like seeing Wolf in like that boring bureaucracy where he's just like, I'm listening. He's not looking at anyone. He's like, I don't care. Just talk.
Just get to the point where it matters.
Yeah. And then I can leave.
Yeah, I've heard this all before. You don't understand because he's head of the ISB pretty much at this point. He's pretty high up. He's an important guy, and he was already important. I mean, his voice actor was pretty much the narrator for Clone Wars.
Yeah.
But yeah, we let's see. I like how interesting how they did the planet, which this metal that they were using was actually on the floors. Was mentioned in Legends before, so this is the first time we've actually seen this before. But I thought it was interesting.
Crazy way to do a prison. Really effective.
So one thing that's interesting is you notice all the prisoners are human. So I wonder if it has to do with how the floor system. I wonder if certain species aren't affected by it.
Well, I guarantee some aren't to a degree.
Because there's only humans there on that.
The thought I had for the why is it only humans thing is because they knew humans could do this. I think aliens, they all get shipped to Kessel and the mines to do the really hard slave labor.
Yeah, they are.
Or if they're good looking, they get sent elsewhere.
Yeah.
And then we see a planet named. So I don't know if you picked on they mentioned they're mentioning the prisons. One of the planets they mentioned was Belsarvis. It was actually a planet first mentioned in the High Republic.
Yep.
So I don't know if you picked up on that.
I was happy to hear it. Belsarvis is a very big prison.
So we talked about Mishi. When we see some of the wealthier side of things, which kind of seemed the opposite. Kind of they were flowing opposite of Cassian, almost back and forth.
I will say it makes a lot more sense now why they were asking for homeworlds whenever they were sorting them. Because if your homeworld is in predominantly alien planet, you're probably going to get sorted to a different area. Yeah. And yes, I know they can see you and everything, but there could be chemical makeups or something that happen on a planet or something like that. But because I found it weird, they're sorting them by planet.
Well, there are multiple different species of human.
I know.
So yeah.
Or they also might feel like they're maybe an alien sympathizer or something like that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We see, let's see, we see some of the wealthier side. We can see the weird drink where they drop a worm and it fizzes up.
Yeah.
Um,
Chandrila.
and then one of them actually says she's like, they mention it's disgusting.
Yeah.
He's like, well, that's the whole point of drinking it, because he's like, some of the rich food in our world is like really disgusting. People eat it just because it costs a lot.
Right, exactly.
It's like the whole point of putting like the gold leaf on stuff.
Right. But instead of a gold leaf, this was the worm in the tequila.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't a toe and some whiskey.
Yeah. I do really like that character she's kind of brought on, Tay or whatever, the other senator though.
Yep.
The other Chandrilan senator.
Banker.
The banker, yes, he's a banker.
One
but yeah,
thing
he seems like he's gonna be a good part of this.
we've seen that on the front screen, we've only seen really in the background. That's kind of, I'm surprised I haven't seen too many talk much about, like, in a negative light, because we typically do in this scenario, which I'm glad. This is a great thing. Is the gay relationship between the two women. Typically, well, we haven't really got to see like a front and center on the big screen of the same sex couple yet. So that was. And it was,
and yet it was human. It wasn't like, look at these two kiss and be in love. It was, look at this normal spat between someone who wants to just drop this and someone else who's like, no, I am here for organic. The Empire, or I'm here for the rebellion.
Very organic and very believable. Didn't feel like it was like just thrown in there at the last second. It was good.
Yeah.
We also saw some forms of sign language at the prisoners, which is rare to also see in Star Wars.
We've gotten that now just from Mandalorian, so it's a very new thing. But
yeah, so we could see more of that. But I don't. Well, the Mandalorian was actual sign language they were using. And this one
I don't. Modified a little bit for the language,
people.
But...
And then we, of course, finishing off talking on the Episode 8 talk, we get to see Saw Gerrera. Which
is the big one, and he's exactly who he is and everything else. That man will never change.
That was stellar acting by him. Great job. He definitely Saw. I mean, he always makes an impact in everything he's in. So
I really enjoyed the banter between him and Luthen as well. He was that like old friends, been around the block a few times, know each other's antics. It was really nice, and again, that's why I think this show's doing so well. No one's complaining about the speed of Andor, and if they are, they're morons. I don't care, you're a moron, because the writing is so good. The dialogue that we're getting in these conversations, it's so good. It's crisp and clear. It gets a point across, sets up new scenes. Real. Yes, this is the most lived in Star Wars has ever felt.
I'm both disappointed and satisfied when the episode ends.
Yeah.
Because they don't leave it off on a huge hanger like some shows do, trying to tease you, but they do really well job at like, you want to see the next episode. So it's
right.
I don't know. It's a really good balance, I feel. I've really enjoyed this one.
Well, are you excited? So it's going to be Wednesdays for both Tales of the Jedi and Andor now. Well, no, Tales of the Jedi was just that one thing dropped. That's right.
That was over. We got all the episodes at once.
That blew my... Okay. What else do we have to say about Andor?
Let's say what we want are looking forward to for next week.
I need to see how he's going to get out of this. Like, they've made it, like... what is going to happen?
Right. Because there's no way he's going to be in there for 6 years because he can't.
No way.
So he's going to have to get out. How is he going to get out? Do you think they're going to... Who's going to find him?
Yeah.
Well, when he comes in, you see him already scheming in his head. He's looking. He's seeing
he knows where the boots are.
He's picking out everything.
He sees the boots. He's like, oh. He's like, first, like, why are they wearing these boots? And then Floyd's like, oh, it's the boots. And he's like, where they keep the boots? Oh, that's where they keep the boots. Yep. Oh, he notices their schedule.
Oh, here's the door controls. Here's they're low on staff, so it's easy to like get mixed up.
Well, you notice the staff barely does anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's all prisoner controlled, which is very interesting. So, yeah, he is on. Which Andy Serkis is probably going to thorn in his side. He's probably going to do something and wants to be that teacher's pet and
get out early if you can.
or something. I don't even know. Does he even get anything for doing all this and being good?
No, he
not.
won't.
Not beaten.
That's about it. Not
typically the
zapped.
Empire rewards you with killing you,
Mm-hmm.
or that's
We've
typically
seen
what
that.
we see. Yeah.
So
I think
yep.
Can we see that in Tales of the Jedi actually, or something?
Yeah.
We've seen that in something.
That's how they reward you.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Okay, now we can talk about
Okay, did not expect them to drop all of Tales of the Jedi at once. I was expecting episodic on this one for a little bit as well.
I actually did. I posted, but it's okay.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I totally had missed it, which was a pleasant surprise. I think the way they released it was understandable because of the way it's supposed to work in like actual like date order and like, you know, chronological order, but
the length of it would be terrible if they did it week by week.
Yeah, true.
It's so short, but I mean, we so much content in so little time.
Yeah,
because there's so much going on. But we
Mhm.
got the first episode.
The first episode, yes, the first episode was stellar. The animation looks really clean and really well done, but also like little baby Ahsoka was adorable.
It was so painterly, and I really loved the style because it has the Clone Wars look, but it had more artistic value.
Not to mention, she got to see an alien tribal village. Togruta.
Yeah. It was cool seeing them. Interesting how they did it. It was very traditional, very
Not me taking notes on how it looks and all the things that they have and how the elders dressed.
Technology and
the wood shingle, the wood-like shingles they put on their huts that are like rounded.
And then the robots
the only
that were like
really,
the droids are really skinny. The really skinny legs and
only really there to help build.
There was another droid but it's like parts are like really thin and stuff. It was really, really bare bones, literally.
I have one comment, but I understand because I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense if it's how the art director wants it. But like, when they're hunting, the whole purpose of their montrails is to hide in the grass. If you're wearing a giant blue, hood to cover the stripes, at least have it have stripes, so you blend into the grass. That is my only complaint. I will be quiet now.
Also, though, my biggest complaint was if it's supposed to be, I know the name of that planet, Sheely, then isn't the grass supposed to be orange?
Yeah.
And that's why their skin is orange, mostly?
Yeah, because I always assumed it was kind of the reason they did it was kind of the whole tiger effect is what they were trying to mimic.
Yeah, that is part of how they evolved, or at least in the lore of it.
Right.
Their stripes on it are so they can blend into the grasses. They have sharp teeth because they're hunters.
Meat-based hunting species. Which is why they have so much honor in that. And we get some of that from this. Yeah, the mother, Pavti, is like really into the spirits. You could tell, like, I guess Ahsoka's dad, not so much. But her mother is very much still attuned with the nature and spirits.
They also set the precedent for Liku length.
Yeah, being different. Yeah.
They were all different. Her dad was very thick and short.
Yep.
And then, but we get to see the the men were basically building. The women were basically doing everything else. Like especially hunting, even with a child, which I thought was pretty extreme. But
and it's something kind of a tradition they talked about too. It's like a ceremonial thing. Yeah,
or something, especially if her mom is a designated hunter. She is probably a really good hunter, and she's like, I need to go hunt. And it's been a year. I know how that feels.
But also, because like she made her look at the death. That was a big part of it that made it very ritualistic.
Well, that makes sense, and that's very reminds me of very Native American. Some had traditions of because death isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just this is the way of how things are.
Her fight with that tiger.
So I have a bad take, but I'll wait till we get to the end of the episode to talk about it. So
okay.
Because I have a bad take on that episode that probably no one's gonna agree with me on, but I have a reason for it.
Well, besides that, okay, so then it goes on to Dooku, which I kind of wish they had just done like.
We're still in that episode.
What else was there? Like the tiger. She goes home.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. My bad take was on the tiger. I just it might be me, but I thought it was unnecessarily extreme to mount her on the back of the tiger.
How did she get on the back of it? She is a 1-year-old. That is the thing. I agree. How?
So,
she's
cool. A great character. She's, to me,
rule of cool.
No,
your cat's about to knock your.
Yep.
You better stop your cat.
You dumb cat.
So the reason why I say this is because one thing that makes Ahsoka so great is she earned her right to be awesome. Yeah. She went through these trials and tribulations, but we gotta start off that she's I don't know, just they made her way too magical and special that we've never heard of that before.
I would disagree with that part because it is not your. You even said this.
Yes.
It is not the strength of the Force. It is how you use it.
It is your connection to the Force at that moment.
Yeah.
We've seen them connect to animals, but not to like instantly tame and then ride the animal.
I would say. I would say two other things.
That basic level.
She is a Togruta, which they are
highly Force sensitive.
They are extremely also animal intuned and like used to handling.
To me, it just seemed like they just really wanted to just really go extreme. I don't know. I just felt like
if they would have had the tiger carry her back, that would have made a lot more sense.
The writing part is what drove me crazy. The writing. I was like, that's a little way too much.
Yeah, I can totally agree on that.
But she's also a baby, and she doesn't understand anything. All she knows is she's using something. And it's flowing through her. She doesn't have any kind of mental blocks to stop it.
No one has told her what she can't do.
The animal. That's the instant tame and riding just seemed too much to make reason with what we've already understood. But I'll leave it at that because, like I said, I probably have a bad take on that one. But
I don't think she didn't tame it. She befriended it.
Yeah.
And it brought her back home and then fucked off.
So then the next 3 episodes we get were all about Dooku, and then
it did seem like it was a weird break just to have like
it was weird.
It was a little weird. Like I get that it's time based, but we could have just put that one out.
I thought it was going to alternate.
Oh yeah, me too when I saw that.
I thought it was going to be all 3 Ahsoka and all 3 Dooku, or Ahsoka Dooku, but no, it was like Ahsoka Dooku, Ahsoka. It's so weird order.
And they could have just put the Ahsoka first episode at the end of the Dooku ones, and we would have understood what was going on. We would have been fine.
Honestly, if I were to rewatch it, I would probably watch the 3 episodes that coincide with each other together. I would watch all the Ahsokas at once and then all the Dookus.
That's what I did. That's what I did, and it was really good.
I watched them in the order that they showed it, and it was very odd.
Yeah. But man, the Dooku stuff.
Yeah. Oh! I personally really like the Dooku parts. Not to say the Ahsoka parts were bad; those are great.
But we all knew the Ahsoka stuff was going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Man, though, the Dooku stuff was so stellar, and it just but it just cements why I love Dooku that much more.
I didn't expect it to be that dark. I knew he had a dark because I knew things led to him. Like he didn't just choose to join the dark side. I knew things led up to it. We get to see it. We get to experience it. We also get to see his side of the prequels, which is awesome to see. Because like I was walking through, Lindsay, my wife, she's not very familiar as I am with the story. I'm like pointing out this is what, because they'll say something. Oh, this is when this is right before episode 1. Oh, this is during, like there's a guy, the young man says something. I'm like, that is right. She's like, no, to talk. I was like, just wait, he'll say his name. This young Qui-Gon, again voiced by his Liam Neeson's son.
Yes,
which is awesome. And Liam Neeson eventually shows up later. I really enjoyed seeing the Jedi side because we didn't really see too much of it other than there's some reading material.
Well, that's what I loved about the first one too, is really that it's that moment when Dooku realizes the faultiness of the Republic and how the Senate will only corrupt and how the Senate is only hurting the Jedi when he's on this planet, and he's like, he realizes, whoa, I was sent here to do something, and I realized that these aren't the bad guys. The bad guy is the guy who the Senate hired me to work with.
Well, they did the traditional Jedi job, which is to be the kind of negotiator, to stop the fighting, and then he got to a point where he realized they're not gonna stop, and so
he wants to kill them just to kill them.
He honestly picked the side that he felt was the innocent side.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Because the people who hired him, the governor of that area, He literally said, "I want to make a point of this village."
Well, to him, he didn't get hired. He was sent by the council.
Yeah.
Who were told to investigate, kidnapping. So he invested. He did what he thought he was supposed to do.
And through speaking with the son of the governor, who was totally also on the insurrectionists or whatever they wanted to call, the poor people's side. So that was also a really cool side.
Well, that originally, until he got to see, he's like, Dad, because he kept him. He said he never lets him go anywhere. He's like, Dad, this is kind of screwed up. What you're doing here? And of course, he's like, yeah, if this is, he's like, I'm assuming when he got there, he probably thought this is just normal for the planet. And then he finds out, no, this is how he treats the people. This isn't like a low income planet. This is just a low income people. But she changed his pace when he realized that. Very reasonable, very you could see how his take on, not only does he instantly see how the Jedi Order is kind of changing, but he also gets the worst part of it every time.
He's seeing how the Republic is failing the people.
He loses his apprentice, which hits him hard. Instantly, his buddy that he doesn't really care too much because he's very extreme and supporting, which is Mace Windu, gets promoted in his place when he felt like he should have deserved the promotion, but he probably didn't get picked because I think some of the masters were starting to think that he thought differently from him.
But back on
that was about whenever he was doing stuff with Sereno, right?
To a degree. Okay, so during the first episode, that would have been around the time when he was doing anything on Sereno, because he was getting closer to leaving the Order, but was mostly still just talking about it. Definitely recommend Dooku Jedi Lost, a audio drama for anyone who loved the Dooku series. Get it on Audible because it is an amazing audio drama, and it really puts even more prospect, and it puts a lot more into, oh my gosh, this is why Dooku, perspective, why he left. But back on episode 1 though of Dooku stuff, or which is episode 2, Choices, I believe is what it's called. But we get to see he throws Qui-Gon back. He's like, no, you're not gonna stop me. He's showing that he's not gonna let anyone get in his way this time to bring what he believes is true peace and order, or at least trying to obtain it. Then yes, the second one does a really awesome job of showing the duality of the true Jedi Masters. You have Count Dooku,
by the way.
Justice is okay. Justice. Choices is the one where I'm about to talk about now, which is awesome. Yes, because him and Mace Windu have a very rocky relationship, because Mace Windu is very, very powerful and understands faults, but at the same time is so hard pressed to follow rules that he will not go against the council.
Polar opposites in a way too.
Which is why, but again, when you look at it, it's Dooku, it's Qui-Gon Jinn, Orla Jarini, these Jedi who decided to not follow what the Republic and what the Council thought were law directly and just go with the Force. They were the true Jedi. They were the true and ultimate Jedi who were trying to bring balance to the Force and not just serve a Republic or any other type of background agenda.
Well, the funny thing is I personally thought was a little ironic, and this is skipping to episode 3, but I can wait. But basically, it's his idea of Jedi are supposed to. He kind of talks about that in episode 2, episode 1, first episode of Dooku. That Jedi are supposed to serve the Republic, not the Senate. But it's funny how it's a little ironic that in episode 3, episode 4, episode 3 of Dooku, episode 4. He ends up siding with Palpatine, the Darth Sidious, when ironically that he's technically, when he's siding with Palpatine, he's serving the Senate and disavowing the order, the Republic.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny. He doesn't realize it. And also Sidious is actually quoting his line to him. He says, remember, you wanting to serve the people and not the Senate. But Palpatine is at this time a senator.
I am the Senate.
It's just funny that he's he doesn't realize, but he's actually going against this whole thing.
Which again really proves so much of what is happening with Dooku, Qui-Gon, and the loss of the Jedi, and how they really lose themselves, because Mace Windu is just, he's not really trying to help his friend. He's just trying to correct him at all the times.
Yeah.
None of them are trying to talk with Dooku, even though Dooku saw all this coming. Like Dooku even talks about that.
I say one does try to talk to him about it, and she pays for it. Speaking of which, we get to see finally front and center a hidden background character.
Yeah, we get to see a bit of Yaddle, who, like everyone was surprised, doesn't talk like Yoda, which some of us knew from the comics.
But that just means he has speech impediment.
Yeah, Yoda's got a little weird of a.
He's weird.
He's a weirdo.
Just a weird.
So now, also, this ties in with Grogu though. Like, is Grogu gonna talk normal?
Right.
Probably. If he ever talks, he probably can. I think he can talk. I just think he's got some kind of.
He's got a lot of trauma. He watched all his friends and family die in front of him.
I think because he doesn't make any noises. We could see. It was great to see Yaddle. But yeah, she's
Bryce
the only
Dallas
one.
Howard did an amazing job voicing her.
Yeah.
She's the only one who actually tries to, to talk with him, to like level with them.
Towards the end of everything, even admitting you were right, we were wrong. The council was not correct. The Sith have returned. We failed. We did not see this.
She says like, "Hey, we get it. We'll work on getting you back. It's fine.
Whatever you've done,
she did that multiple times.
Just please come back."
Even after he almost killed her, he still did it again. She still's like, "Hey, come on, it's okay. It's not your fault."
But then he fully gives in. You kind of hear his voice change a little. He gets more of that Clone Wars style of voice to him, or more gravel, grit to it, and he just 100% coldly just strikes her down.
I thought. So the middle of that was a great fight scene, by the way, between him and Yaddle.
Oh, and even though in the prior episode with Windu and Dooku fighting, lovely fight scenes. They're gorgeous.
Yeah, but that was one of the better fight scenes in my opinion of this one. I'd say the best. It's got to be up in the top 3.
Yeah.
I thought that it was funny because I guess I've been in other nerd cultures lately, but my first thought when they're fighting, I was like, what's ironic in Star Wars, that the little green goblin is actually the good guy, the little green goblin is fighting the kind of regal looking human, but usually it's the opposite. Usually it's like the knight slaying the
little gross goblin thing. Yeah,
reversed. The green goblin's the good guy in this situation.
But no, that one was really hard to watch. Like I was sad. Like what Dooku did was like it made me then realize, like, as much as I like Dooku, no, he's still lost. He's still he turned.
We kind of expected it. We can't. He was a tragic character.
Yeah. So then we will be moving on to the last two Ahsoka ones. The second one was also a little brutal, just because.
Yeah.
Man, this is proof, like what we've been talking about, on why the Jedi that were brought up in the Clone Wars are not real Jedi. These are not peaceful monks. They were tortured and trained for combat.
Yeah.
So and
seeing Cal.
Oh yeah, seeing Cal Kestis. Yeah.
No, it wasn't Cal Kestis. It was
Caleb. Caleb Doom.
We get to see Anakin's training techniques,
which is brutal.
Yeah.
Which saved her life.
Yeah, it's why she was able to get so far, take off all those clones, why she was able to take down Anakin and almost kill him in the Vader fight. Like, there's a reason. He taught her good.
I mean, they were both very skilled at an early age, so she kind of needed to be pushed. Did she need to be pushed that hard? Probably not, but...
You know what? Honestly, though, it may have been hard, but it really shows, because later in the episode when it's like, you lasted 5 minutes that time, that's like really soon before all the stuff happens at Order 66. And it's like, you literally go and see her fight off how many clones for how long? How long was she fighting them off and just deflecting the blasters for her life?
Yeah. We hear him at the end, near the end of the training, where she's like, it's like, why are you doing this to me? He's like, you're a Jedi Padawan. This is in the war. You're gonna go out in the war, and I'm not gonna be there to help you.
Right. I'm not always gonna.
You're gonna have to be able to save yourself, and I can't be. I said I am ultimately responsible for you. So he says, I'm basically not gonna send you out onto the battlefield until I feel like you can protect yourself.
Yeah.
So,
and honestly, to me, it comes across as I'm not going to lose you because of something I could have done.
Also, it says that he basically is also saying the Jedi Order is sending Padawans to their death.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh yeah.
It says that.
I mean, he was one of the first ones to get trained really in that wartime stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, he never really got trained too much. He was kind of just thrown into the. He kind of was already thrown in with Obi-Wan in the front lines.
Yeah, the kid kind of, did all his stuff when he was what?
He's got a good few years between episode 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Well, when you hear them talking in 2, they went on a ton of missions at a young age already. Which
like I'm
was
reading through
unusual.
the book, I'm listening to the book Brotherhood now, which goes over the stuff they talk about where he's like, that business on Kate Demonia doesn't count. That happens in this book.
Yeah. He basically skipped over the initiative phase.
Yeah.
And rushed into the Padawan phase and almost immediately starts.
Yeah. Oh, very quickly becomes a knight.
And then gets
pretty
a
much
Padawan.
a knight. Like he skips a lot of the early stuff, so he gets grown up fast.
Yes.
But honestly, that's a part of them having to be at war, and that's a product of it. And seeing it and seeing how they train the Padawans versus how we kind of see it in High Republic, it's very lax. It's still there's some like danger levels to it, but it's very. You're gonna learn how to do this. We're gonna go through it a few times, and we'll do all the training, and then you see Clone Wars era, and it's you will get zapped if you don't do this, and you will get zapped a lot.
It's
going through an academy versus a military school.
That's a better explanation.
Training young, they're basically, because they call them commanders, they're basically training young generals to fight on the front lines. It's different.
We get to see Ahsoka really mature there a lot, though, like we know we do. But then that just covers pretty much the Clone Wars era, which we've all been watched.
I love how the second episode ended. Did great. Kind of a teaser to the last season.
Crying.
And then the last episode, my wife loved the most because she read a lot of the Ahsoka books, and a lot of that's actually covered in the Ahsoka books, the whole farm stuff. So she was like, "Oh, I remember this part and all this stuff." It was really funny.
Yeah, I was actually really excited that they stuck that close to the book. I was not expecting them to stick that close to the book. What I really love is how Dave Filoni, he really loves to give you amazing lightsaber battles, like what we see in Dooku's things. And then at the very end, when he's like, "I've been amping this fight up since the beginning," and it happens in 3 seconds. Which is amazing. It's an amazing fight because it's awesome to watch Ahsoka just manhandle this Inquisitor. But, oh my god, I did not expect her to literally in 3 moves kill the guy.
It shows her power and how strong she is, because Inquisitors are trained by Vader.
And they are ex-Jedi.
So
fights like that are very realistic, too.
Yes, that was very realistic.
So good.
She straight up just turns dude's lightsaber off, takes it from him, and cuts his head off. And I was like,
really take it. Like, he's still holding on to the thing whenever she does it. And she just goes, vroom.
It was so good. Dave Filoni is a master of amping up a lightsaber battle to have it happen in 2 frames, and you still love it.
Also, what was this guy? Because he disintegrated.
Yes. So I'm gonna have to make a whole video and just deep dive into this, because that mask didn't go anywhere.
It didn't.
The mask stayed. He dissolved.
You see their stuff under, like you see almost like a smoky effect underneath.
His body doesn't start to dissolve though because it falls backwards. No, it's not Darth Nihilus.
No. Similar though, like.
But no, yes,
mask and
yes, like with Nihilus and like in the books in the Shadow of the Sith book with the Sith Admiral Harsharad. I can't remember his name right now, but regardless, he lived on through his mask. I think that might have been a Sith imbued mask. So that Inquisitor might not have actually had any Force powers. That could have been a Sith mask that Vader or Palpatine found and put it on somebody to see if they could use that person as an Inquisitor.
We hardly ever see Inquisitors wear anything like that too. He's very
he's wearing very old style.
Similar. Different.
He's wearing like just cloth pretty much.
If he didn't have that lightsaber, honestly, you probably wouldn't tell if he's an Inquisitor. Besides the
Imperial logo on the yes. But besides that, no, I would have never thought he would have been. I thought he was his own Sith. So I'm really thinking that was actually a mask they put on someone else, because they've used it before with Darth Momin. Darth Vader knows about this stuff because Darth Momin, he used his mask and forced it on people because Darth Momin was the architect who helped build Vader's castle. So Vader and Palpatine are totally down to force a Sith spirit onto a host. That's I'm gonna have a whole episode.
They did kind of close in on that, and the way they zoomed in on the mask staying there and then it disintegrating. I know it's just we got to be headed, but just it felt like there's more there. You think we'll see the mask
again?
Maybe. I think we might maybe in the Ahsoka series. Because this could be the thing. This could be a reliving enemy because you have to destroy the mask, not the person.
That would be really, really cool, and I can't wait.
It's just like the mask, the old.
It's gonna show back up, and she's just gonna have like a wait a minute.
Yeah, no, exactly. I thought I killed you. How are you alive? And he'll just be, he'll just have some awesome,
That would be a fun recurring villain though. It's just like
every time she tries to like destroy the mask, it like somehow it gets like taken the dark side. Just does something.
Has to take it to Mustafar and throw it in the wall.
Yeah,
is an awesome looking character, and I wanted to explore more of the character.
Mm-hmm.
But it also. Sometimes you need that when you have a unique character like Ahsoka to show how powerful they are.
Yeah.
That they just instantly kill somebody like that.
Yeah.
It's great storytelling. But I will say
because it was like with Obi-Wan and Maul, that was gorgeous.
Such a beautiful scene.
If we see anything true in Star Wars that we've seen in the past, if we've ever seen a villain last for like a couple seconds on the screen that looked really cool, they're gonna sell a lot of toys.
Yeah, yeah.
That happens with a lot of the characters that look really cool and they don't get much screen time, and then poof, next thing we know, they are selling off the shelves. Everybody's dressing up in them.
Yep. And then
they look awesome.
5 years later, they get a show.
Yeah, I mean, I hope at least we gotta get something on them.
I mean, I would love a show just about the entire Inquisitorium in general. Like, I would watch that.
I mean, or a book.
Or a book, sure, but let me watch Vader beat the hell out of people.
I thought that's what we're getting with Obi-Wan. We get a lot of the Inquisitor stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It felt too short.
Yeah, that's why I'm really liking Andor too, is because of 12 episodes. But I really do hope that we get an entire thing about Inquisitors. That'd be cool. The Acolyte's gonna be my saving grace for dark side stuff.
Speaking of Acolyte, what if we see the mask in Acolyte?
There we go. Yeah, what if we see the mask and Acolyte? Hell yeah, that would be so cool.
We see the mask, we go, wait a minute, that's what Ahsoka fights.
Yeah, and that's how they give us the background, and they're like, wait, so then he's not dead because she didn't take the mask.
Yep.
I will say there's some talks about
put that in my video.
Future main movies coming out.
Yeah, there has been another movie announced that will be set after the Rey Skywalker saga timeline, so it might be with Rey or after an entirely
They
new.
say that there will be some characters from the sequel.
It's gonna definitely just be Rey Skywalker and her new Jedi, which I'm fine, whatever.
I know some of the actors don't want to return, so probably
some of them probably don't, but John Boyega said he might actually. So
if they can fix his character.
I thought he originally said he wasn't.
He originally said he wasn't, but now he said he's down. He's open to talks. Yeah. So maybe they will just make him a Jedi and he'll come back.
I've already spoken on what my views on that are, but
yeah,
I say just leave it all alone and go either way back or way forward, but whatever. Yeah. I'm happy for all of it and excited to see what happens, and I'm gonna give it a chance, of course.
Yeah, we can see what happens.
You could blow my socks off.
They haven't started filming yet, so anything could happen at this point.
Right.
That mask could be the main villain of the new movies.
Yeah. And that's how they're setting it up, which would be cool.
I swear to God, if we see Palpatine...
Oh, no, we're done. I don't want to ever see Palpatine again. The only reason I was even okay with it in Tales of the Jedi is because he didn't talk much. It was only that one episode.
He was just laughing in the background.
That made sense for Dooku, okay?
Yeah.
That made sense.
I love Ian McDiarmid, and I wish him all the best. I don't ever want to see that man again on Star Wars television. I am done with the Emperor.
It was really funny though, because just kind of going back, he's just standing in the corner and it's just this Emperor cackling.
Yeah.
Or Palpatine laughing or something like that. And I'm just like, what? He's just cackling.
He's just a creepy old dude. And he's not even that old. He just looks old because he got shocked. He's not even old. That's the worst part of it. He's not even old.
Man, that dark side does something to you.
It does. No, the Force lightning, he will age the shit out of you. That's a whole thing about it. It's nuts. I know I will really look forward to any further announcements and also I think I wouldn't say robbed, but if they are going to have all of this with Ahsoka killing that Inquisitor, why don't we get to see her purifying the crystals?
I think it'll be in the show.
You think it'll be in the show, like a flashback?
It'll probably be something where she's sitting there after everything, like she's off planet, she's somewhere else, or like a clip of her picking up the saber.
Well, have we heard the timeline for Ahsoka yet? Do we know?
Most of it's supposed to be set to where they're looking for Thrawn. That is the main storyline of this, is her looking for Thrawn.
Because I know, because they're playing, it's got to be close to the timeline as Mandalorian, because it's the same actress. Yes. So
I think it's after, and then like maybe we might get flashbacks. We might just get like talking points.
It's not that much after the Mandalorian, but we don't really know.
Because she literally just found out where Thrawn was or whatever from one of his lackeys.
Right. But it's going to be good. Definitely good times for Star Wars, everyone, and we should all be very excited for it. Be sure to comment down below what your favorite part of the Tales of the Jedi show was, or your favorite part of Andor.
Also, what are you for Halloween?
What are you going to be for Halloween? And if it's Star Wars, you win. If it's not,
you win.
You win. Tell us what it is. We will definitely have some more videos out soon. I'm going to be going hard in the paint about this Sith Lord and doing some videos on that, so look forward to that. And again, another little teaser, I will be doing a giveaway here soon, just getting some things finalized. So that'll be a lot of fun. I look forward to talking more Star Wars with you all.
Future gaming stream.
Yes.
Eventually.
There will be some more future gaming streams that we will work out beforehand so we can hear each other and have a good time chatting with one another. But we'll get all that worked out and ready for you all. Have a happy Halloween. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Watch out, parents. I hear they're putting lightsabers in candy nowadays, so you never know.
And Doom, apparently.
And Doom, yeah. You can get a whole Doom processor just in your Snickers bar. So may the Force serve you well.